The recipient of the Music Advisory Board's Distinguished Master's Candidate Award goes to Melisa Karić, who is pursuing a Master's of Music in Violin Performance here at the University of Arizona.
Hi, my name is Melisa Karić and I'm a violinist. I'm currently pursuing a master's degree in violin performance at the University of Arizona. Approximately 5 months ago, I fell off my bike and suffered a severe injury of my left wrist. Injury was so serious that required internal fixation surgery, which basically meant putting in titanium plate and industrial grade screws into my wrist. The surgery went very well and I've been steadily recovering since. But still, this was an extremely difficult process for me, both physically and mentally. The very first thought I had after the injury was, will I ever be able to play again? I mean, this is my life. This is my job, my love, my passion, my existence, my everything. And suddenly there was a pretty good chance that I will never be able to play again. Now, when I look back, it seems like a nonsense, but in that moment, that was the only thing I could think of. I was scared. I was terrified. Honestly, I was lost. After the surgery, I made a very detailed plan of my recovery. I even made a timeline with these big goals. When will I be able to practice again? When will I be able to perform again? In theory, that sounded perfect, but in real life, almost none of that really happened as I expected. You know, physical therapy is very time and energy consuming, and it's almost impossible to predict how one will recover from an injury. This series of 5 short episodes will focus on physical and mental aspects of recovering from an injury, whether it's performance related or from a trauma like mine, and also how to avoid a chronic injury before it happens, before it's too late. To receive this award is a huge honor, and I'm very grateful for that. It means a lot, especially in this difficult time where nothing is really going according to plan of my studies, and it's a huge recognition too. I'm very honored and grateful for the award, and I think something like this, it's very motivating to push me towards my future goals and my career, and also monetary gain of the award is very helpful for the job that I'm doing. So when I came here, my teaching assistantship was playing in the graduate string quartet, and that was definitely a highlight of my experience at the Fred Fox School of Music. I loved performing and playing with this exceptional group of people, and our mentor, Professor Cantor, was definitely the experience I will never forget, and I've learned a lot. I gained so much knowledge, so much experience, and I had a lot of fun. Back in March, when the pandemic started, we couldn't perform together anymore, and but we tried to find a way how to overcome that and how to make performance possible, even in those difficult times. So we decided to do an online recording of Mishima by Philip Glass. And that was something very different and very new to all of us, something that we never done before. You know, suddenly from being for hours in the practice room, you have to do everything online and over Zoom and use
different equipment, different programs and everything, and have to be familiar with it if you weren't, and most of us weren't. So that was very interesting experience. But I think it was very satisfying to see the final product. The process of making this recording was very challenging because when you're on the stage performing with people, let's say with a string quartet, you can kind of feel each other's energies, and you feel like you can rely on each other. You know, whatever happens, they're here for you to support you. But when you're alone in your room, just recording, layering on top of each other, it's a very different feeling. You kind of feel alone, and it's not such a pleasant feeling. Especially, it's not something that I felt comfortable with. So that's definitely one takeaway from that whole process. I became comfortable with it because that was the only option we had, right? So we have to make the best out of it. A couple of months ago, I had a fall from the bike. I had an injury, and you know, when something like that happens, it's a huge setback in the job that I'm doing, right? Playing violin, like you can't play with a broken arm, and it was devastating. It was a very hard experience to go through. So when I started doing this project after the initial injury, it felt very scary, and I didn't know what is going to happen, right? I mean, as a professional musician, it's a huge setback to have something like this injury happen in your career. But the more I talked with people from my field, from professors, with other students, with colleagues, and my physical therapists and mindful movement practitioners, I realized it's not a big deal as I thought, and so many more people are going through same or similar experiences, and I really felt more safe to talk about it, and that's the main reason why I decided to do this project. And recently, when I published all of the episodes, I've gotten so many emails and messages of some colleagues and of some musicians that I've never met before, saying like, "Oh, I went same thing," or "I didn't know that this is so common," or "This is so normal thing among musicians." And it's really satisfying and rewarding to kind of get that feedback. And yeah, I'm really don't regret that I decided to do this in the first place. The things that I've learned here and the kind of support that I've got here, it's life-changing experience. And that's definitely one of the biggest values of this school, I believe. You're very noticed and recognized for your work, and if you want to work, if you want to succeed, you have all the resources to do so. So that is a huge asset of this school.